Kongu Tamil, and Madurai, Chennai, in Chennai, Kuam Tamil, and North Arcot district Tamil. In that, there are different languages, Mudaliyar Tamil, Counter Tamil, all kinds of dialects are seen. And in North, the different dialects of Bengali, different dialects of Hindi are seen. I tell you, from my experience, I can tell you, the language, the standard of language a person speaks directly affects the way in which he thinks, the way in which he acts. It really affects. There may be exemptions, very few, like a person speaking very cultural language and behaving indecently, very rare exemption. But as a nature, it doesn't happen. As a rule, it's a rule. Exemptions does not break the rule, it only enforces the possibility of existence of the rule. Understand? When I say all these candies are sweet, there may be one or two which are not sweet. That does not mean that rule is broken or weakened. Those 2-3 exemptions ensures the existence of the rule. Look in the other side. Look from the other side. All exemptions ensure the existence of the greater possibility of the rule. So maybe 1 or 2 exemptions. But otherwise, I can say, the language they speak, the cultural, cultured, clear, syntax, semantics, grammar they use directly affects the alkalines of our DNA. That is why the neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, really does a big transformation. I can tell you. See, NLP is not all. It does not lead to enlightenment, but it surely awakens much more than what you are now. The neuro-linguistic programming surely makes you more alive than what you are now. The next important discovery, truth. Scientist Garge J says, our DNA can be reprogrammed by speech when words are modulated on correct carrier and frequencies, again and again and again. The Upanishads are chanted for so many different purposes. Not only your DNA can be altered, I tell you, the Upanishads came from such a high frequency. If a group of people whose DNAs are already altered by this chanting, if they chant, the cosmic DNA can be altered. That is why the chanting and Homa brings rain. It brings whatever we need, the natural positive effects. Why do you think such big tsunami did not touch single temple? See, all over, from Kanyakumari to Chennai, at least 2,000 temples are there, which compounds usually gets washed by the wave. At least 2,000. Please understand. From Kanyakumari to Chennai, first of all, let us start with Kanyakumari Devi temple. From that to Chennai Tiruvattriyur, Kashi Vishwanath temple, and Pattinattar Samadhi. At least 2,000 temples are there. Tiruchendur, Thoothukudi, just temples are there. Not a single temple was broken or damaged or disturbed. We may say, no, coincidence. No. If people whose DNAs are altered, reprogrammed by the sounds and mantras and frequencies, if they sit together and create those frequencies and sounds, the cosmos DNA can be reprogrammed. So a space, bit of cosmos, which is reprogrammed by the reprogrammed system of the body of the master, is energy field. Bit of the cosmos, which is reprogrammed by the reprogrammed body of the master, is energy field. That is why just very living in that field reprograms many of our DNA. Next truth. Since the basic structure of DNA and language is of same structure, one can simply use words and sentences of human language of proper frequencies. This proves DNA reacts to spoken words with proper frequencies. It directly, this is my own conclusion. Because of these researches, these researches directly or indirectly explains and proves how affirmations, hypnosis, words from spiritual masters affect your body and mind directly. This is the power of initiation, the process. Many of you people would have seen the video of people levitating during LEP. If you have attended LEP, you would have seen. I did not do anything. All I did is let your samana be balanced. Let the air energy inside you be balanced. Let whatever happens inside your body happen. That's all. Affirmation. Satya Sankalpa. Nothing else. Satya Sankalpa. Over. Immediately, the whole thing fell in place. People started levitating, the raising. Understand? Ordinary Sankalpa is gravitation, Satya Sankalpa is levitation. Sankalpa, ordinary Sankalpa, means will, words, thoughts, created. Pulls you down, makes you more heavy. Satya Sankalpa makes you levitate. That is why whatever is said and done, when you listen to the great truths directly from Master, it just gets recorded into your DNA, becomes part of your DNA. This is the science. Why millions come to listen to the Masters, and how the Master's words directly gives experience to people. That's what I call transmission of lamp. Initiation. From a lit fire, only you can light the lamp. How much ever you sit and beg, please, please, why don't you lit yourself? How much ever you play and do any drama, any game, light cannot be lit by itself. Only from the lit fire, it can be lit. Transmission of lamp only can happen. Same way, how much ever You sit and talk in ordinary way? No. Only the reprogrammed DNA can transmit that frequency and right words and reprogram your DNA. That process only I call initiation. So it is very important to know the importance of initiation. If you sit and listen to the truth from an ordinary man who has intellectually memorized it, it is called learning, teaching and learning. If you sit and listen to a man who himself is practicing those truths, he is called Acharya, you are called Shishya. If you sit and listen to those truths, who has experienced it, he is called Guru, you are a Shishya. If you are listening to those truths from a being whose very DNA is programmed, it is called initiation. He is an incarnation, you are a devotee, it is called initiation. This is what exactly I am doing in Inner Awakening. Every session of Inner Awakening is an initiation. Awakening of one DNA. Every session of Inner Awakening. First working on life, means different energy centers. Then working on death, the different energy layers. Then working on koshas, sheets, different energy sheets, energy fields. Then working on the very core of energy. So every session is an initiation into the next step. Your DNA gets reprogrammed for enlightenment. In my life, there is an experience with a group of Tibetan monks. They made me sit inside the bell. Some 10 monks sit around the bell and rub the bell and go on chanting. I never realized the sound can create pain in your air holes, in your pore. The bell has small holes through which I can breathe, but all the 10 sides they are sitting and rubbing the bell with a small wooden piece. That vibration created, the sound, within 5 minutes your ear stops listening to that sound. You can't hear it anymore. But every hair pore feels the pain as if a needle is being inserted. And after the pain also disappears. It becomes like a pleasure. Very strong, deep pleasure. Then they chant the words like, you are deathless, you are painless, you have no hunger, you have no thirst, you have no old age. They chant like this. I now translated in negative way. They don't say you have no old age, they say you are ever young. They say you are always fulfilled. You are immortal. They declare in positive terms. And I was really shocked. Because first I thought, what can this do? Maybe a ceremony. I love usually the ceremonies. Anywhere, any ceremony I see, I'll go and sit. Whether it is a Shraddha or I will not bother. Whether it is some sannyas ceremony is going on, or some shraddha is going on, some ceremony is going on, I'll go and sit. So I saw some ceremony going on. I asked, will you allow me? They said, are you sannyasi? I said, yes, I left the house long ago. Then they put me in that ceremony. I started attending. Then I realized, now I can realize completely, the frequencies and language can reprogram your DNA. I can tell you, still I do not have anything called pain in my body. If you have seen me 10 days before, in Himalayas, 10-15 days before, there was a big wound, at least 4 to 5 inch wound, long, maybe quarter inch depth. There was a bleeding and big wound. It took 5 days for me to realize there was a wound. Something has happened to the hand. Some brahmachari saw and told me. By the time it got healed by itself. Even though body is ordinary body, there is no such thing as pain. Still, it takes so much to push the food inside my system because there is no such thing as hunger. People have to remind me to drink water continuously because there is no thirst. The DNA reprogramming. The power of DNA is reprogramming. So your DNA can be reprogrammed by the right words, right chantings, right initiation from the incarnation whose DNA is completely reprogrammed. That is why the words heard from the Master spreads inside you like a fire and makes you experience. Scientist Garja Jayev says, human language did not appear coincidentally, but it is a reflection of our DNA. That is why Kashmir to Kanyakumari, when there was no communication like a telephone, television, telegram, anything, Sahana Avatu is chanted in same frequency. Go to Kashmir Shaivites temples, or Bhavani Mandir, or Vaishnava Devi, and go to Kanyakumari, Kanyadevi Bhagavati Mandir. You will see Sahana Avatu and Purnamatam being chanted in same tone, same frequency. So the language is not just coincident. It is a reflection of our DNA. So, through this I want you to understand 3 important truths. 1, be aware of the words you use. Second, listen to the great words only from the person who has experienced. Third thing, whenever you listen to the great words and higher frequencies from the person who has experienced, whose DNA is reprogrammed, it becomes your experience. That is what is initiation. The next research, the scientist and researcher Greg Braden gives evidences on how emotions change our DNA. Number 1, in case of gratitude, love and appreciation, DNA responded by relaxing and length become longer. Just simple, feeling love. Understand that every day, morning 1 hour when you do Guru Puja, your DNA is relaxed and length becomes longer. Because you are in the mood of gratitude, love and appreciation. 1 hour, DNA becoming longer is too much to live at least 130 years. I'm telling you. 1 hour is too much. I tell you, even 21 minutes. 21 minutes of love and appreciation, feeling. That's one cycle. See, one cycle per day. If you keep anything alive, that is more than enough to keep you whole day in that experience. It's like any emotion maintained for a cycle becomes the louder voice in your system, because now morning you sit and more than actually 2 cycles you guys maintain. The Guru Puja is more than the Pratyaksha Pada Puja you do is more than 2 cycles, around 42 minutes. So 2 cycles you are doing. In the 2 cycles, 1 cycle give it as a discount. Some moment maybe you are looking at the flower or looking at the mantra, or 1 or 2 moments you miss. Leave it, it's okay. Even if 1 cycle, if you are able to maintain some feeling, some idea, some concept, that becomes the loudest concept uttered by your mind to your body in the whole day. Because you cannot maintain even the worst hatred or enmity for 1 cycle in a day, even if you try. Or you may have to sit and visualize, see that fellow's picture, remember that incident again and again. Anyhow, you are not going to do that every day. And you won't be able to. So naturally, this gratitude, love and appreciation becomes the loudest information, loudest action, loudest voice of your system. The second research, in case of anger, fear, frustration and stress, DNA is tightened up, DNA becomes shorter, and DNA codes are switched off. Means almost the partial death starts happening in you. The partial death becomes experience in you. So understand, the anger, fear and frustration and stress, even if it happens with the logic and reason, it harms you more than your enemy. As I told you yesterday, develop this habit of abhayam sarvabhudebhyo, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You will be a powerful person and warrior, both. The next, the truth is, this is from a website, Living Light Foundation. Once 12 strands of DNA are activated, emotions, beliefs, behavioral patterns that do not serve our life can be removed and replaced with vibration of love energy. That is what I call you becoming an incarnation. This is what has exactly happened to me at the age of 22, 2000. Year 2000, at the age of 22, this is what has happened to me. All the 12 strands got awakened. All the 12 strands of DNA got activated. So the emotions, beliefs, behavioral patterns that do not serve our life's purpose is removed and replaced with vibrations of love energy. I can call it as vibrations of awareness, bliss energy. Different names you can give. And I realized I am an incarnation and I have a purpose to fulfill. And it is expressing. So understand, this is the science behind how an incarnation feels, acts and lives. There is another one, truth. The balancedexistence.com. This is the another one website which works which gives information on this DNA science. Scientists experimented the change in emotions changes the shape of DNA. They infer that emotions change our physical DNA, and when we change, the world around us changes. Please understand. Oh God. Emotions change our physical DNA, and when we change, the world around us changes. Again, I always tell people, be blissful, wealth will be attracted towards you. You will attract all the right things, right situations, and right happenings. The world around you will change. The scientists are saying the same thing in different words. So the essence is, let you start practicing the higher human emotions and reprogram your system with higher human existence, in a higher way of existing, with higher reality. You will see your DNA changes, your health improves, your life changes, even the world around you changes completely. So let you all experience this change. Inner awakening is all about giving you the glimpse of this change. You are reprogrammed to the higher reality. All your human emotions are purified, and not only your health becomes strong, you are transformed physically. You learn the science of attracting the right changes around you, because the Sangha gives you that intelligence. So to experience Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, be in inner awakening. Here is a discovery from dailygalaxy.com, the website. So many scientists contribute to that website. DNA has been found to have a bizarre activity to put itself together, even at a distance, when according to known science it should not be able to. I'll explain how the teleporting, telepathy, all these things are possible. It is just because of this truth. DNA has been found to have a bizarre ability to put itself together, even at a distance, when according to known science it should not be able to. Science is said to catch up with teleporting and telepathy and all that. Scientists Grezna and France found out the DNA can cause patterns in vacuum, producing magnetic wormholes. Please understand the new word, wormholes. Wormholes are tunnels like connections between areas in universe through which DNA attracts bits of information outside time and space and passes them on to our consciousness. It was noted that this information can be passed on between individuals whose DNA is turned on or activated. Let me add my own experience for this. They say, the scientists are saying that DNA can cause patterns in vacuum, producing magnetic wormholes. That wormholes can attract bits of information outside time and space. Patanjali again and again says, you don't need to learn just from the five senses, means seeing and hearing. I have an example of Vivekananda. Whatever he expressed in 9 years of his public life, even for you to study, it will take 39 years, his lifetime. This proves solidly, Vivekananda did not receive all information through eyes and ears. You can take my example. Whatever I expressed in last 8 years, even for you to study and understand, it will take at least 33 years. Forget about experiencing and expressing, just study. Very clearly you can see, logically you can see very clearly, objectively you can see This much of information cannot get into the system through ears and seeing or any other education method within last 33 years, even if I was studying all 33 years, 24 hours. Then how did these informations get into the system and comes out? This is the secret. DNA can create magnetic wormholes which receives bits of information outside time and space. That's what we call consciousness. So till the wormholes are created in your DNA, you need an outside master. Once the wormholes are created in your DNA, you don't need outside master there. Outside Guru sits inside you as Antar Guru and teaches you. He sits inside you and goes on supplying the knowledge. And another one important information, the last punchline. It was noted that this information can be passed on between individuals whose DNA is turned on or activated. Whatever I downloaded through my wormholes and DNA can be transmitted to you without using my words, without you seeing or listening. Just if your DNA is activated or turned on. That is what I call initiation, Upanishad. Only in the beginning, you need to listen to my words. If the DNA gets activated or turned on, no need for words, no need for ordinary way of teaching. Just the transmission, the initiation, energy darshan is enough. That is what I was telling yesterday. Initiation is like an intense downloading into you. The knowledge and consciousness and information in this biomemory, in this DNA, is just transmitted. That is why these acharyas, once they are initiated, our trained teachers to go around and take classes, once they are initiated, there are thousands of information they never learnt from my books or heard from me, starts expressing through them. The answers which they would have never heard from me or read from my books suddenly starts expressing. How? This is the science. If your DNA is turned on or activated, these bits of information which gets downloaded through the wormholes created in DNA can just be transmitted without any conventional methods. This is what is happening during every initiation, every process in inner awakening. This is what I am doing in our Vidyalayas, in our Gurukuls. The transmission without using conventional methods is possible, was available, is available in our Vedic tradition. Was available in our Vedic tradition, is available in Nithyananda mission. It's possible. Otherwise, you can't imagine hundreds of shakas of Upanishads, Vedas. I mean, by hearted, memorized. By the time the kids complete 7 years in our tradition, there are rishis. There were rishis. By the age of 7, they mastered the whole thing. Millions of slokas. Shankara. I can give you thousands of examples. How is it possible? They are not myth. They are not just stories, they are histories. Understand? It's possible through super DNA. In NSP, every session, I am trying to make your DNA into super DNA. Same way in the inner awakening, every session is to turn on, activate the DNA so that the experience can be transmitted as it is. There's one more very interesting bit of information I have. It's from psychedelicadventure.com, website psychedelicadventure.com. Scientists irradiated DNA with laser light. On a screen, wave pattern was formed. The wave pattern still remained even after removal of DNA. It infers, point 1, the energy from outside of space still flows through activated wormholes after DNA removal. Means once the initiation is given, even if you are not physically around me, the connection and energy transmission constantly goes on. The second thing, hyper communication, telepathy, remote sensing is definitely a part of human protocol. Means it is possible for human beings. Telepathy or remote sensing is possible for human beings. That is why I tell you, telepathy and remote sensing is a living mechanism even if you don't believe it. Whenever you have fear about somebody, anger towards somebody, enmity towards somebody, fear that they may attack you, just do one simple process. I give you this as a technique. Sit and say, Abhayam Sarvabhudebhyo. I give refuge to the whole world. And nobody, no being is need to be afraid of me. I am not here to attack anybody. Please understand, visualize. Every DNA in your body sends this message. Every hair hole, pore in your body is used as a transmitter for this message. Sit very nicely, calmly, still. Every night when I switch off and relax into myself, say, Abhayam Sarvabhudebhyo. Let the whole humanity be blessed with a deep abhaya. Nobody need to be afraid. Understand, still cosmos is alive. Still cosmos is alive. The big problem is the ordinary mind gets caught between this normal actions we need to do and the experience we need to carry. You just need little more expansion to comprehend the paradox of the life. That's all, nothing else. Whenever you have fear for somebody, about somebody, if you feel they may attack or do something harm, just sit and send a strong wave of Abhayam Sarvabhudebhyo. I am not enemy to anybody. I am not going to cherish enmity towards anybody. At the most, I may defend, protect myself. That's all. But I am not interested in attacking anybody. I am only interested in giving abhaya. Just send these waves. Not only that, when you send these waves of abhaya, you will see so much of healing happens in you. Even for defending, you will do minimum but right actions. As browsing through some of the articles about this epigenetics, this is Dr. Hassan Church. He's written a book called Genie in Our Genes. He has done a great service to Vedic tradition by proving many of the Vedic truths scientifically. Anybody digs in any field with the one goal of Satya, truth, they land on Vedic tradition. In any field it can be. See, without having the vested interests of the marketing companies, marketing industry, in any field, anybody does research with Satya. Satya as the goal, truth as the goal. Simply they land on Vedic tradition. I can say this Hassan church is a rishi. He very clearly proves the quality of your consciousness directly transforms the way in which you exist physiologically, or your physiological existence is directly affected by the quality of your consciousness. The quality of your consciousness and the physiological existence are so closely connected the epigenetics. They have done so much of research on this field, on this epigenome. Epigenome is a protein particle responsible for your genes and all the happenings based on genes. Please understand, we are always taught genes are responsible for our diseases. No, it's not true. Even your DNA is not responsible. The quality of your consciousness is responsible. The quality of consciousness can directly change DNA. Hassan Church very beautifully proves even the persistent diseases handed over to you by the previous generations, like cancer, sugar, blood pressure, heart diseases, even they can be just altered, changed, transformed by the quality of your consciousness. Another research proves only 35% of your DNA is responsible, only 35%, for what you are, who you are, how you are, and all the major factors like your longevity, disease, health, and everything. Only 35%. The science of epigenetics and the epigenome opens a new door to the great truths declared by Patanjali and Swatmarama. Patanjali in Raja Yoga Sutras and Swatmarama in Hatha Yoga Sutras. Shiva Sutras says very clearly, the man who is in perfect health just by his nisangalpa, means the intentionless consciousness, can transmit that to a human being or any being. That is what is exactly the science of healing. I have so many research references here today to share with you all. One is that Dawson Church research. and the truth about the epigenome, I can see very clearly when I see these researchers, exactly the experience which is happening in me, in others when I do the healing is scientifically recorded and proved. Usually I see how the healing happens in people. I can see very clearly when I put the hand on the person, the epigenome structure starts changing, which is responsible for the whole building. Please understand, DNA is not responsible for the building. DNA is like a brick. Out of brick, we build buildings, but brick itself is not responsible for the plan. If there is a defective brick, there will be defective building. But brick does not carry the blueprint of the building. The epigenome is responsible for the blueprint of the building. I could see very clearly the epigenome transforms itself and DNA just alters as per the transformation of the epigenome, and clearly the body just remembers the health. Please understand, health is your nature. You don't need to create it. You just need to remember it. The remembrance immediately awakens and the health is back. That is why even the doctors are surprised and shocked when they see the persistent diseases like cancer, blood pressure, all those things get healed. Especially these long-term drug therapies are no more needed and people just walk out of diseases. Doctors are shocked. They ask me again and again, what do you do? What do you do? I tell them, who knows? I only know what happens. But now I am understanding, because of the scientific discoveries. Maybe I can say earlier also I understand what happens, but now only I know the words to transmit that understanding to you all. I don't know what happens, but I do not know these technical terms like epigenetics and epigenome. Now I understand those words also because of these scientific researches. The quality of your consciousness, the quality of consciousness in which you are living is directly responsible. It can just alter, transform any disease, including diseases like cancer, arthritis, handed over to you through generations. If you go to the internet, tons and tons of research is done in this field. How the spiritual healing directly works. Not only during spiritual healing, even during initiations, and when people come and sit near me in my breathing space, I can see very clearly their epigenome starts getting awakened, restructures itself, realigns itself. There is another research I was reading. In a vacuum tube, if there are some electrons lying random, if a human DNA is introduced, immediately they all come to a clear, organized shape. They all just stand up. It's like when master enters, how you automatically stand up. They all just organize themselves. Even after the DNA, human DNA was removed, they all stay back in the same shape. Same way, I can see very clearly when people sit in my breathing space, especially during Pada Puja, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, I can see very clearly their body just recupes and transforms. I used to wonder how to express this clearly in scientific terms. Hassan Church has done that job. Very beautifully, very scientifically, he has explained. The science of epigenome and epigenetics is the revelation. It's a science which proves now the declarations of Patanjali and Swatmarama and all great Vedic rishis, and my own experience. The quality of your consciousness decides diseases, longevity, quality of life, pain, depression, everything. Even the persistent diseases like cancer, blood pressure, heart diseases, sugar, everything. So I tell you, wake up and raise your consciousness. Not only to transform your DNA, to transform the whole world. See, when you transform your DNA, it is not just the great service done to you alone. It will be the greatest service you are doing to the whole world, because when your DNA is transformed, you see, when your consciousness is brought to certain level, whoever you touch will be impacted by your consciousness, and their epigenome also will be re-altered, and their DNA will be transformed, and they get back to their health. This is the science of healer's initiation. That's what I am doing. Not only I transformed my epigenome and transformed my DNA structure and brought the highest possible conscious expression in this body and mind. Whoever is touched, if they also can raise their consciousness, of course, when I touch, the physical and mental healing happens. And if they also put a little bit of their effort and take up the responsibility to receive it completely, then a complete epigenome transformation, DNA transformation happens in them, and they also start experiencing the higher and higher possibilities of the consciousness in their body mind. So naturally, when they touch somebody else, their epigenome gets awakened, the DNA gets transformed, the health starts happening in that person. This is what the ripple wave effect. I tell you, this spiritual healing and enlightenment based communities, these two will be our greatest contribution to the human civilization. And the epigenome of epigenetics, this science of epigenome and epigenetics, will legitimize what we are doing internationally. This science will legitimize what we are doing internationally, I tell you. Seeing the researchers and the reports, I'm really shocked, not just surprised, shocked. Every word uttered by our rishis, every truth casually mentioned by our rishis, which I am bringing back to life experientially, is proved with solid reports and researches. I tell you, future is ours. If humanity is going to have future, it is ours. Not only that, let us create new human beings. New human beings. It is time we create a breakthrough. We give a breakthrough for human beings. Like how gorilla, chimpanzee became human being. Now it is time for a human being to become enlightened being. Let us put all our efforts and energies strongly to raise the human consciousness more and more in all possible ways. This will be the greatest happening to the humanity. Even one moment, if you can unclutch and relax in restful awareness, or you can help somebody to unclutch and be in restful awareness, you are adding something great to the universe. Understand? Something great to the universe. Even if one moment you unclutch and rest in conscious, restful awareness, and help somebody to rest in restful awareness, raising consciousness, you contributed something great to the humanity. Understand? You contributed something great to the humanity. Let's popularize these great researches on this epigenetics and the epigenome, the ideas about the epigenome. Epigenome can be changed through conscious choices regardless of what we have been handed over through generations. Add more and more joy, laughter, love, life, dance, bliss, restful awareness to the humanity. Let us create intense, conscious cyclones superconscious tsunamis. All over the world, save the humanity, human consciousness, and human health. All you guys decide two things strongly. One, from now, you will live in the highest possible consciousness continuously. Second, even if you leave the body, you will get back to serve the world in this highest consciousness. We need more and more people in human body to remove the inhumanity from humanity. We need more and more people in human body to remove inhumanity in humanity. It's time. We really need. We really need. Actually, when I go through the scientific researches, even I realize more and more the urgency with which we need to create N communities, urgency with which we need to create the N civilization, urgency with which we need to radiate enlightenment. So let the urge become the urgent. Even the life which is happening in your body is gift. Constantly you are showered. If you stand on this base, you can create wealth 10 times more. You can create infrastructure. See, if you start your life from the mood of not having, you will not create wealth, you will grab wealth. If you start your life feeling blessed, you will create wealth, you will not grab wealth. There's a big difference, understand? If you start your life with the feeling, I don't have, you will grab, you will never create. You will be waiting for the opportunities to grab. Sometimes people tell me, Swamiji, I am completely content. I tell them, oh, that's great. If you get a lottery, $1 billion, will you say you don't want? No, no, no. Then what do you mean by you are completely content? No. Move from contentment to fulfillment. Fulfillment is totally different from contentment. If you start with idea of not having, I don't have, you will only grab. You will wait to grab. If you start with the reality, I am showered. Still I am alive, my kidney is working, my liver is working, my brain is working at least once in a while. My heart is working. My lungs are working. So many things in our system is working. I am still feeling I am alive. Millions of possibilities open the moment you feel that you are alive. See, like the moment you are out of this door, the millions of stars are seen. The millions of possibilities are opening up. Same way, the moment you feel you are alive, the millions of possibilities are opening. The door for the millions of possibility is the first experience. I am alive. Why don't you recognize that and celebrate? Understand, just few days before we celebrated my Enlightenment Day, I am telling you very directly. All that happened on the day, I wanted to put it in a very plain words to you. I just recognized I am alive, and I realized that I am alive opens thousands of possibility in the realms of mysticism, in the realms of life, in the realms of physical health, mental health, wealth, knowledge, enlightenment, relationships. In every realm which you feel is essence of life or necessary for happy life, and finally being happy without anything, in all realms, I suddenly felt in each realm thousands of possibilities are opening for me because I am alive. All I did is I recognized I am alive, and I realized thousands of possibilities opening in front of me. Billions of possibilities are open in front of me, and I started celebrating. That's all. See, recognizing I am alive is Sat, truth. Recognizing billions of possibilities are there in front of me is Chit, consciousness. Celebrating, wow, is Ananda. That's all. Just I experienced Satchidananda, the glimpse of Satchidananda on the day. That's what I call enlightenment. And just decide, today you will recognize you are alive. You are alive means what? Now, millions of possibilities are opening in front of you. What million? Billion? What billion? Trillion. Possibilities are opening in front of you. You can be a good father, or you can be a bad father. You can be a good brother, or you can be a bad brother. You can be a good friend, or you can be a bad friend. Or you can be healthy, or you can be sick. But all are possibilities. Thousands of possibilities are open in front of you is enough reason to celebrate. Understand? When you realize trillions of possibilities are open in front of you, you will become desireless. Please understand, I am cracking an important nut which keeps ignorance alive in you. I am cracking the head of the ignorance. If you are aware, trillions of possibilities are in front of you, you will not have desire. You will experience anashayam, means where not only there is desirelessness, the possibilities of desires gets burnt. You may think, how can it be? If there are billions of possibilities in front of me, naturally I'll be having so many desires to have this choice, that choice, that choice, that choice. No. When there is billions of possibilities in front of you, billions of choices in front of you, suddenly you feel like resting in choicelessness. The decision to rest in choicelessness, decision to relax in choicelessness happens when you see trillions of choices in front of you. When trillions of possibilities are in front of you, you just decide relaxing into choicelessness. you feel the ability to choose is more powerful, important, energetic, fulfilling than any choice you make. Please understand. The moment you start making choices, your freedom of being in choicelessness is getting restricted. The moment you choose, you will be choosing language. Now you are in a bondage of acting only in that language realm. Till you choose, you have a freedom of all languages. The moment you choose, you will take birth in India. Now you are bound by all the plus and minuses of this Indian society. Till you choose, you are beyond the plus and minuses of Indian society. Every choice you make takes away some part of being choiceless from you. So when there are trillions of choices in front of you, you suddenly decide, wow, being choiceless is the best thing. Being choiceless is the ultimate experience. The person who is being choiceless will be the infinite creator. Infinite creator, please understand. Try resting in choicelessness. You will see the amount of wealth you will create, attract around you without grabbing. Relax into the space of gratitude. You are showered with so much. Trillions of choices are there in front of you. When you realize trillions of choices are there in front of you, you just relax in choiceless awareness. I click on the fracture. And the lesson to be learned from the poetry. The lesson I live, and the lesson all of you can learn. You know. First thing, first question everybody asks, why is Swami getting to the house? What is the need? See, life is not supposed to be just you wake up on the same bed and you walk to the same floor and you get into the same vehicle and you just go to the same office, come back and lie down in the same bed. Life keeps learning. So I also thought, why not pick up a car after riding? And after this art riding, swimming, all the things are inside of women. Just keep your eye and it will come up. So I thought, why not try? That's the reason I tried. Nothing happened. It was going well. Every day it was going well. Every day was going around action morning and evening. I think that day, a little bit of music, loud music, and all the ashramites started cheering up. So I got really excited, nothing else, that's all. And the moment I felt, first thing I thought is, oh, the people should not suffer. All the brahmacharis ashramites were around me. They should not suffer. First thing I told him, I am okay, don't worry. I am okay, don't worry. That's what I told first thing. After that, I saw the fracture in the hand. And I told him, maybe there is a fracture, let us go to the hospital and do what needs to be done. First we went to 7 o'clock April. 2:30 only they did surgery. Till then, no painkiller, no anesthesia, no pain. No painkiller, no anesthesia, no pain. It is a compounded two fracture. Bones are on piece. And doctors were shocked, surprised. They were again and again saying, what do you mean by no pain? I don't know.
Actually, the fracture is not any problem to my body. Now, little consideration I imagine is the medicine which follows information to my body. It's antibiotic and all usually everything they infuse into the body. That is the reason I am little cough and plum and all that. Otherwise, the original fracture did not do anything. There was no suffering, there was no pain. And fortunately, the moment I fell from the arch, that is also completely video recorded in the security camera. And the whole thing is video recorded. And such is also video recorded. They are very important. The doctors are saying it must be excruciating pain for you because the whole came out of skin. Bone has made a hole in the skin. There was bleeding. And some 3-4 pieces it became. 2 fractures and 3-4 pieces. You may ask, why no pain? See, there was no suffering. I did not look back to think, why did I get into the heart? I did not look back. I could have just avoided getting into the heart. I could have avoided the music. See, time and track, whatever is happening, is a Kala Guru. Kala is Guru. Time and track should not be looked with the one. You should not look at time and track with the postmortem mood. I did not do postmortem. This is the way life is. That's all. Either look at the time with the deep, complete acceptance. After gratitude, I look at the gratitude. Fortunately, there was no injury on the head, there was no injury on the back. Usually, the people will fall on the arm, they have injury only on the head. They break collarbone. Nothing of that injury happened. So I looked at collarbone, only the gratitude. Collarbone is Guru. Life is Guru. Do not look at life with a postmortem mood. I could have thought, oh, this fellow could avoid the music, this fellow could avoid the shouting, cheering up, I could avoid getting into the art, what is the meaning for me to learn the art, engage, not writing, who asked me to learn art writing? Thousands of ways you can ask why towards the life. But why towards the life? Always brings suffering. Why and if and why. All three bring suffering. The why does not give any answer. It just brings more and more suffering. So I always tell you, look at the life. Look at Kala. Kala is time. What does it happen? Look at life. Either with complete acceptance or deep gratitude. That's all. Then there will not be any suffering. So the lesson you need to learn from this whole thing, my prasadam to you. See, this is a great experience for me. So I can give you the prasadam of this experience. Is never go to life. Kalpaya, Guru. All is there on the way. See, life only teaches me. Guru only teaches me. When the life is intensely teaching you, the Guru. Life or Kalpaya or Guru. Never go to Kalpaya or Guru. With the mood of life. Always go to the total acceptance of the extraordinary gratitude. Not only that, I show you now, miraculously how in 2-3 days the whole thing gets healed. Completely the whole thing just get healed. That's true. And the whole healing miraculously happening also because no suffering. No suffering, no pain. To learn this one lesson. Come on. Sit with this one idea for a few minutes. Let me approach life with a deep gratitude or full acceptance. Know why to life.
Your thoughts and emotions can alter your DNA. I have some of the beautiful Shastra Pramanas. Of course, modern day Shastra Pramanas by some of the scientists. The scientist Daniel Winter and his heart coherence team found proof that human emotions can reprogram your DNA and shape your immune system. The next research, the scientist and researcher Greg Braden gives evidences on how emotions change our DNA. Number one, in case of gratitude, love and appreciation, DNA responded by relaxing and length become longer. Just simple feeling love. There is another one, truth. The balancedexistence.com. This is the another one website which works which gives information on this DNA science. Scientists experimented the change in emotions changes the shape of DNA. They infer that emotions change our physical DNA, and when we change, the world around us changes. Please understand. Oh God. Emotions change our physical DNA, and when we change, the world around us changes. Again, I always tell people, be blissful, wealth will be attracted towards you. You will attract all the right things, right situations, and right happenings. The world around you will change. The scientists are saying the same thing in different words. Understand? If you are suffering with diabetes, the imbalance of samana, you are suffering with the desires and thoughts which are not going to bring fulfillment to you. I can connect every emotion, every thing to the major diseases people suffer. The fear is responsible for blood pressure. Constant fear raises the blood pressure. If your survival instinct is constantly challenged, blood pressure goes up. If you are constantly suffering with the desire which makes you tired, agamya, the ideas which makes you tired, agamya, you will, the diabetes, blood sugar starts. If you are constantly suffering with a shrinking idea, please understand, shrinking means guilt. Guilt is shrinking. Shrinking ideas are responsible for arthritis. If you are suffering with the memories of physical, mental, emotional pain, that is directly responsible for your relationships, unable to expand your life, and the identity you feel. Please understand, some emotional pain, if it is carried strongly in your system, you will stop expanding. But honesty is only one ingredient for authenticity. It is not authenticity by itself. Please understand. Honesty is only one ingredient for authenticity. Authenticity is something more than honesty. I'll give you the difference between honesty and authenticity. For example, if you are angry with somebody, you will express directly to that person, I am angry with you. It is honesty, but that is not authenticity. Authenticity means really two beings may understand each other where even the anger will not happen. Please understand there is a difference between honesty and authenticity. Honesty is socially good quality. Authenticity is spiritual quality. It is not social good quality. Honesty is only the first step, initial step. Authenticity is a spiritual quality. Authenticity means living the spiritual truths authentically. See, a husband lying to the wife, neither there is honesty nor authenticity. Husband telling truth to the wife that he is a womanizer is honesty, but not authenticity. Husband living just as a husband is authenticity. So each person's role, if he or she is completely living, it is authentic. When he is failing and revealing the failure to the other person, it is honesty. Revealing the failure is not living successfully. Understand? Revealing the failure is revealing the failure. It is honest, no doubt, but not authentic. You may be keeping your balance sheet proper with a country, nation. Are you keeping your balance sheet proper with the cosmos, with the universe? What is the meaning of the word keeping the balance sheet in tune with the cosmos? Means just remembering continuously you are not qualified for anything. Everything is showered on you. Please understand. Remembering everything is a gift given to you by the cosmos in your life is what I mean by keeping your balance sheet straight with the cosmos. You don't need to pay anything back. The attitude, everything is a gift to you, is keeping the balance sheet authentic with the cosmos. You do not know. Gratitude is such a powerful ingredient. The moment you add that, honesty become authenticity. I have seen people many times mistake honesty into authenticity. No, honesty is not authenticity. Honesty is more like a hot love. Authenticity is like a cool stream. Understand? Honesty will always be demanding. I am honest, you be honest. Authenticity will be always flowing. I am flowing, I don't bother about you. Authenticity fills you and others. Honesty burns others and you. Many times I have seen the people who are honest within few days or few weeks or few months, they will torture and kill the other person in the name of honesty. God, honesty is a foolish substitute to authenticity.
Gratitude is prayer. Generally, our religious life starts in prayer, ends in gratitude. Prayer has got different dimensions. It gets matured as you get matured. Prayer is the bridge towards divinity. Prayer is the bridge towards your higher consciousness. Prayer is the bridge to take you beyond the sufferings of the planet Earth. Prayer is the technique, is the method to lead you to superconscious state. Let us understand the various dimensions of prayer step by step. One thing, prayer has got different forms. Nothing is higher, nothing is lower. Whatever way you can start, you can start. But naturally, you will be growing towards the higher level of consciousness. First thing, in the physical level, prayer starts in the physical level. Going to the temple, praying to God, praying to the murtis of gods and goddesses, and doing some puja, doing some havan. First physical thing, prayer should be started in physical way. First, prayer starts in the level of physical worship. Then next, it goes to the level of verbal worship. You chant the stotras, you chant the mantras, you do the nama japa, chanting by words, you worship the divine, you pray. Now you come to a little higher level. First puja, then japa, stotra or repetition of the God's mantra. All these things are verbal prayer. Verbal prayer plays a major role in keeping the mind in higher form, in the higher level. The remembrance of some sacred syllable, continuous repetition with awareness, that's the important thing. Without awareness, repeating will become an unconscious habit. Please don't do that. The more your mind is filled with some sacred syllable, sacred words, the more your inner chattering will be cleansed. Your inner chattering has almost become like a junk. So much of unnecessary things you throw into it. So much of repression and suppression. So much of anger, violence you suppress inside your being. Where will all that go? It will go and disturb your inner chattering. Your inner chattering is made out of stuff which you suppress inside. If you suppress too much of violence, if you suppress too much of sex, if you suppress too much of anger, those things only will come out in your inner chattering unconsciously. All your inner chattering is made of the same stuff which you suppress inside. What you put inside, that only will come out naturally. If you put mantras inside, the sacred syllables inside, the divine words inside, the stotras inside, put words inside, you will see you are radiating the same beautiful words, same beautiful feeling, same beautiful bliss. The more you chant the right words, less you will be chanting the wrong words. Second is the verbal prayer. Third is important thing, mental prayer. When prayer reaches the third dimension, it becomes mental. First, it is physical. Second, verbal. Third, mental. In mental level, it is called as meditation. In physical level, it is called worship or puja. In the verbal level, it is called japa. In the mental level, it is called meditation, dhyana. When you reach this level, neither your body needs to be involved, nor your inner chanting needs to be involved. Just your being will start relating. In japa, it's a communication. In dhyana, it's a communion. In prayer, it is communication between you and God. In meditation, it's a communion with you and God. You start experiencing the taste of divine. You start experiencing the glimpse of divine. You start experiencing the glimpse of bliss. Important thing, as long as you do puja or japa, you and God are different. The moment you enter the dhyana, you start realizing godliness in you. You start experiencing the divine in you. You start getting the glimpse of what you worshipped all these years. The unique communion starts between you and you. It is not even between you and God, because God becomes part of your being, you become part of Him. Drop merges into the ocean merges into the drop. You start experiencing the glimpse. You start feeling you are the part of the whole. The Advaitic experience, Advaitic means non-dualistic. A feeling of oneness starts happening inside your being. A different kind of experience. As long as you do the japa, you are worshipping. The moment you enter into jhana, you merge with the object which you worship. With that, you become one. You start experiencing the consciousness. The final step comes, the fourth thing, where neither you nor the God exists. Both disappear into one experience. That is what I call gratitude. The beginning, the physical level, you worship. This is the puja, worship. In the verbal level, you chant, japa. This is what I call repetition of the names. In the mental level, you meditate, you experience the divine in you. That is what I call jhana. And in the spiritual level, the fourth level, spiritual level, you experience not only the oneness, even the idea of oneness disappears. There is only one thing remains, gratitude. Towards whom? Towards nobody, just gratitude. Not even addressed to somebody. As long as the gratitude is addressed to somebody, that's two persons. Person who gives, person who receives. But at the ultimate level, it is not even addressed to somebody. It just overflows. Energy expresses itself in the form of gratitude. Energy expresses itself in the form of bliss. deep feeling of fulfillment. That is what we call samadhi. Samadhi means the being, after getting totally fulfilled, expresses itself in the form of energy. There is nobody who expresses, and there is nobody who receives, just experience. In this level, the experiencer and the experienced merges into experience. In that moment, only one thing exists, that is simply experience. Neither experiencer nor the experienced. Both merges into one being. That is what we call experience. You feel so much, life is shining on you. You feel it is too much. I can't tolerate anymore. It is so much of joy, so much of ecstasy. You start losing your identity. You start losing your boundary. You can have identity as long as you have a trace of suffering. The moment suffering disappears, you lose your boundary. Understand? An important thing you need to understand. You can have ego only if you have suffering. Your ego cannot exist without suffering. Suffering is the root for your ego. It is an important thing you need to understand. We always think the other way. Ego is disturbed by suffering. No. Ego is enriched by suffering. An important thing. If your suffering is less, your ego is less. You feel you are too small, so you increase your suffering. You increase your suffering so that you can feel you are somebody. When ego disappears, you will be merged inside the bliss. When you merge inside the bliss, ego disappears. When you go really deep into your being, when you become one with the existence, when you experience, only gratitude flows, only grateful feeling overflows. It is just gratitude. That's a beautiful meditation, Sufism. They say the only way to relate with God is gratitude. Because with gratitude, you start experiencing Him. With prayer, you only start relating with Him. With gratitude, you start experiencing Him. The deeper level of your being, your spiritual layer, start experiencing with gratitude. Understand a few things. How many things you are showered in your life? How much God has showered? But we never look into the things which is showered on us. We always look, what next? When you really live with a deep sensitivity, with understanding, without taking things for granted, you will experience a new space in your being, and you will experience deep joy in your being. You will experience different gratitude towards the whole life, towards persons, towards situations, ultimately towards the whole existence. Gratitude is the ultimate prayer. Gratitude is the greatest attitude. Gratitude is the greatest attitude which you can have towards human beings, towards life, towards persons, towards situations. So gratitude is the greatest attitude towards God. Gratitude is the ultimate prayer.
We relate, we worship through the idol, not the idol. Understand? When you see the deity, idol is not remembered. If you remember the idol, the deity is not remembered. When you see a stone elephant, you will not see the material. You see it as a material, you can't see it as an elephant. An artist will see that as an elephant, but will not see it as a material. If there is a stone, if there is a wooden elephant, the elephant carved out of wood, a person who is involved with the wood business, if he sees, he will say, oh, sandalwood, wonderful wood, high cost, this must be the cost. He will be talking about the wood. He can never see the elephant. If an artist, if he sees, he will see, oh, beautiful sculpture, beautiful carving, elephant, amazing. He will not see the elephant. He will not see the wood. So if the moment you see the wood, you will not see elephant. The moment you see the elephant, you will not see the wood. It cannot happen in the same moment. It can happen only in the next moments. Even if you see wood, elephant, wood, one moment you can see only as elephant. Only in the next moment you can see it as a wood. The next moment you can see it as an elephant. When you see this as a God, you will not see it as a world. When you see this as a world, you will not see it as a God. If you see this whole cosmos as a world, giving you fear and greed, you can't see this as a God. If you see this whole thing as a God, you can't see this as a world. There won't be any fear and greed. See, the whole thing happened in Ramakrishna's life. Just an ordinary deity, statue. He started seeing it as a God. He was never able to see it as a stone or a statue. And it might have started in a very raw level, but slowly, just because of his very intensity, the whole thing became alive and led him to ultimate enlightenment, removing all the obstacles, guiding itself. He says, when he goes and talks to the Devi, she says, just to teach you the Jivan Mukti, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, I brought him here, go and learn. Then he comes back and says, he is telling me to drop you. He is telling me to kill you, destroy you. He says, yes, do it. Please understand, in India, villages, I always tell this one example, Indian villages, they burn the dead bodies. They will use a big stick, big bamboo to burn the body. Once the whole body is burnt, they will throw that stick also in the same fire, and that also will be burnt. Same way, use master's form or God's form to burn the attachment with all other forms. When all other forms attachment is dropped, this form is intelligent enough to disappear by itself or guide you to beyond the formlessness. The master's form or the God's form is intelligent enough to lead you to beyond all the forms and lead you to very form itself. So Kali says, yes, go beyond my form, cut the form. And I can say that is the moment of ultimate gratitude. Ultimate gratitude. He has liberated you from everything and liberates you from himself also. Liberates you from himself also. Then suddenly you will see his form will not be there anymore in your inner space, but you know he is there. He is there. He is there. Intensely present. Intensely present. As long as you feel connected with the form, sometime you will see he is present, sometime you will see he is absent. And you will struggle to feel connected, maintain that feeling connection continuously. You will struggle to feel the connection continuously. When you are able to feel connected to him beyond his form, you are liberated even from that form. You will see suddenly his presence is there intensely, continuously, and guiding you radiating. This thanksgiving is one of the wonderful thing I learned from the West. Understand? I'm very open and honest. Whatever is said and done, somehow the thanksgiving idea was not there. The very idea did not get engraved so much in India. Only in the West, especially this function, this Thanksgiving function, I saw so much of importance and respect is given to it. And I understood, yes, there are some wonderful things we need to learn. In India, maybe there during Deepavali or something, but not keeping this as a main base or backbone structure. So this was one of the great thing, at least I learned from this country, from this tradition. And not only that, even verbally thanking is given so much of importance in this culture, which is needed. The Vedic tradition, the thanking or the gratitude, it has become more a spiritual quality. It was never a social quality. It was there, but more or less a spiritual quality. But here I saw it's vibrant, alive in every day-to-day life. It is a social quality which we need to really learn and imbibe. Maybe I can say this is a kind of a constant meditation, every day meditation. Whenever you say the word thank you, that's like a everyday meditation, reminding yourself how the gratitude becomes a spiritual practice today. Very funny, but a very mystical incident. Today, Pradosha Puja was there. Means before the discourse, around 5:30, the puja for Nandi. Today is the day Mahadeva gave Shivasutras to Devi. Pradosham is the day Mahadeva spoke these teachings, these sutras to Devi. Today I went and sat there, and after the puja, the Archana started. I was in such a deep silence and samadhi. The Archana was going on. Slowly, I saw behind me the group which was sitting, one or two people were little uncomfortable, not settling down. Of course, I did not see physically, but because I was in samadhi, I can see very clearly what is going on in the minds, like a worms moving. I saw few minds little unsettled, little irritated. I was thinking, this presence, anybody will fall in tune so beautifully, so wonderfully. What is the problem? I saw few guys are not able to, were a little agitated because the brahmachari was chanting the mantra. He chanted the name Nithyananda also, along with the mantra. These few, one or two brains doesn't understand the Rudra, the traditional Rudram itself, there is a word Nithyananda. It's a name of Shiva. It's name of Mahadeva. And I was just seeing. And another funny thing is, I did not even remember or listen, it is my name, because I was in such a deep samadhi. Never feel, that's my name. And there are few intelligent guys, maybe who had the click or initiation, who had that gratitude or the love. I saw the more they heard that word, they were able to feel more and more connected. Because, understand, the experience with the master will intensify your true devotion. Usually, master is used like an object to create devotion in you. Many of our disciples come and tell me, Swamiji, only after I felt connected to you, only now I feel connected to all the puja, rituals, tradition and everything. Till then I never had connection with all those things. All those things people used to do, I go there like a ritual. Only now it makes sense so much. It makes meaning. Master is like a window or a door. Feeling connected to him or grateful to him will open a new door of being grateful to everything. Feeling connected to everything. Few people who had that click, I saw very beautifully they were able to settle. And the few people, and even those few, it is not that they never know or never had any blessing or never had any benefits from the master. They had. But that gratitude, the thanking attitude has not started. If that starts, you will stop judging. Thanking is one of the very powerful quality. In our first meditation technique, the first meditation program, the 7th technique, the quality to open the Sahasrara chakra, the ultimate chakra is gratitude. In gratitude, you will stop judging and fall in tune more and more and more. I saw today beautifully the power of thanksgiving, consciously. Power of thanksgiving. That those few guys, they also do not know traditionally the Nithyananda is one more name of Shiva. If you chant the Rudram, the original Rudram, from the Varanasi edition, there will be a name Nithyananda. And I saw the person, both of them do not know. Person who got agitated and person who felt connected. Both of them do not know traditionally it is the name of Shiva, so it is getting chanted. And the person who did not get agitated, he had some gratitude. Because of that, that name only connected him more and more. The person who did not have, because of that one word, one agitation, he was not able to connect to the whole ritual. The whole ritual. I just smiled and I understood the whole thing. I smiled and turned to the priest and said, stop chanting. He stopped. He just chanted only a few times, then he stopped. If you attended the puja, you would have seen why suddenly Swamiji stopped the recital of his name. That was the reason. Understand, whenever the one simple quality of gratitude, if it starts, gratitude is like a small fire which can burn all your karmas. All the karmas. Anything which you carry on, which you brought, which you are accumulating, anything can be burnt. A simple remembrance of gratitude, not only to the master, to every being, to everything. It brings so much of sensitivity. It brings so much of love and so much of settled feeling, so much of connected feeling. It can just move. I saw the person who was agitated a little bit, whose mind was complicated. His mental thought, the structure was, why should his name being chanted? And he doesn't understand. The person whose name is chanted, he doesn't even remember it is his name. It is his name. Somebody asked me in the discourse, why should you be there and we should be here? I told him very beautifully, actually understanding these few ideas will really give you the deep insights about Thanksgiving, where we miss and what we miss. I told him, because I am nobody, I am here. Because you are somebody, you are there. Understand that if you are somebody, even if you are made to sit here, you will think, I think for my qualification, it should be little better. Wherever you go, whatever way you are respected, you will feel that something more has to be done, should have been done. If you are nobody, whether you are respected or not, you will never bother. You will be in such easiness, comfort. There will never be a disturbance. Person who has become nobody, wherever he is, he will be comfortable. Person who has become somebody, wherever he is, he will have some complications, some misunderstanding. The gratitude will make you as nobody. Just, you will be a flowing energy. You will be just flowing energy. I have seen that flowing energy in the poems of Sufi mystics. Sufism is completely the tradition based on the gratitude. And the way in which they flow, it was such wonderful flow. It was such a gratitude based tradition. It does not take any training at all to have the divine experience through Sufism. With all other tradition, to have divine experience, the mindless, the experience beyond mind, it takes quite a lot of time. First understanding, then sadhana, austerity and all those things. With Sufism, doesn't take time. Straight away it happens, because every step, every teaching is directed towards thanking, gratitude. So, understand this one great quality. It can really transport you to different plane. What is the reason we do puja at the Guru's feet? Why do people want to touch the Guru's feet? It's an ancient tradition. In the Vedic tradition, when you are showered so much by Guru with his knowledge, experience, love, blessings, everything, when you are showered by him, overflowing gratitude, you don't know what to do. So you offer whatever you have at his feet. That is the way the tradition of Guru Puja started. The Vedic tradition. This is the oldest ritual. Please understand. Oldest sacred ritual is Guru Puja. The moment the first disciple was excited, Parvati, Adi Shakti is the first disciple. The moment she was excited with the experience of Shiva, experience given by Mahadeva, Shiva, in that extraordinary gratitude, she fell at Mahadeva's feet and offered whatever she had at his feet. So the first ritual, Guru Puja, started. The first initiation is Shiva Sutra. The first sacred ritual is Guru Puja. First stotra is Guru Gita. The overflowing gratitude, you pour yourself at the feet of the Master. And same way, touching Guru's feet. Touching Guru's feet also. In the ecstasy, you always feel like offering yourself at his feet. There is no logical reason for why Guru Puja is done, why people touch Guru's feet. It is emotional feeling connection. For some people, it looks like, why should I do it? For some people, it is life. They can't live without it. I know, for millions of my disciples, morning satsang is much more important than eating food. This is bliss dose. Morning sitting in the Pada Puja or the morning satsang is a powerful bliss dose. Life is life itself. So please understand, it is the individual's emotion. I also wanted to tell you one more thing. Do all this only if you feel intensely connected to it, not otherwise. It should not be done as a ritual. See, as far as yoga is concerned, whether you want it or not, it has to be done. Because you are working on body. But when the Guru Puja comes, it is in your mind. Your mind itself should feel it. Out of ecstasy and joy, you should be pouring it. So there is no logical reason. What is the reason we do pujas at Guru's feet? Why do people want to touch the Guru's feet? There is no logical reason. Just that's the way it is. That's all.
Today I'll share a few words about the great truth, surrender. Such a vast subject, such a great truth. To tell you honestly, there is only one thing still I continue to learn. That is surrender. There is one thing in the cosmos which you can't say you finished learning. It is unending process. As I always say that enlightenment is final but not ultimate. Sorry, it's ultimate but not final. It's ultimate but not final, constantly happening. Surrender is ultimate but not final. When you surrender, the different qualities of the cosmos starts expressing in you. So after some time, if you think you become very intelligent, you can analyze the cosmos and you start holding the intellect or your understanding about life or everything. If you just hold, then from that moment, surrender stops. The expansion stops. Again, because you are stuck, sometime the cosmos will give you a strong blow again. When it gives a blow, when you don't have anything to look out, there is no solution in the outer world. Then you look in again. Again, cosmos is sitting there, smiling. Come back. I'll come back. And you will see. You melt. The surrender starts happening again. And the highest possible intelligence and the different qualities of the cosmos starts happening again in you. And ultimate but not final, as I said. The ultimate again and again and again happens in the higher and higher dimensions. I tell you, this is the same story exactly gets repeated with master. People come, surrender, they experience the beautiful, intense period of ecstasy and expansion. Suddenly, after a certain intellectual, emotional, being level expansion, unfortunately, their intellect starts judging the very source to which they surrendered and the expansion happened. They start judging the master. And when they start judging means they are stuck with that expansion. Means the moment they lift that surrender, they hold the life, they remove the surrender, then the expansion, growth stops. They are just stuck. It's almost like having bridge which can be lifted to the other shore. First they make a bridge, that is what is surrender. Then from the master's side, so much of intelligence, energy, compassion, expansion, everything is sent to the disciple's side. When the disciple receives too much, suddenly his ego, it just starts judging the other side, the master's side. The moment you judge, the bridge of surrender is lifted. No more transportation is possible. No more receiving gifts is possible. You are stuck. But one nice thing with life is it forgives you. It waits for you. Even though you are stuck, when the sufferings happen in your life, understand, when you are stuck, whatever suffering is given to you is just a reminder. Suffering comes and you try to solve in all possible ways the outer world, because the logic with which you judge the master is so strong, so arrogant. It tries to find its own solutions without bending, without resting, without putting the bridge again back. It just wants to say, no, I know, I'll handle, I'll do it. But Cosmos is so compassionate. It gives you such a strong sufferings which can never be answered, solved by the outer solutions. Then no other way, with a lot of reluctance, slowly you lower the bridge again. The other side, he is just sitting with a smile and waiting for your bridge to land. And he says, okay, come on, let's start the work again. Where we left, 7th lesson, start the 8th. And again, the energy, expansion, ecstasy, everything starts flowing towards the bridge, through the bridge towards you. And next level of happening starts happening. Unfortunately, sometimes the disciple's side, it takes even few janmas, few births to lower the bridge, to put the bridge again. And fortunate are those who is able to put the bridge back again within few days. Intelligent are those who can understand the arrogant and cunning games of the mind and put the bridge back again and restart, refresh, reconnect with the master, with the cosmos, so that all that flow of intelligence, expansion, ecstasy, everything starts happening. The flow becomes alive again. I tell you, fortunate are those who come back, put the bridge again quickly and start the process. Unfortunate are those who may need to wait for births and births and births. And most unfortunate are those who will wait for births, and when they put the bridge again, the master will not be sitting there with the body. He will be without the body. He will be in the form of the formlessness, the cosmos. Then the process and the work, whole thing becomes too difficult. the difficulty becomes more. It's like trying to work with deities without having physical master. It's possible, but needs so much of intensity, takes so much of time, needs so much of tapas, means effort from your side. So naturally, the process is delayed and time is getting wasted. Again and again and again, the same cycle, same rut, people are stuck. I tell you, surrender is the one thing even an incarnation goes on learning. There is no end. Nobody can say, I surrender. No, I am surrendering. Because every moment your logic grows, your inner space expands. The possibility of ego and surrender is again presented in front of you. And again and again and again, you have to choose surrender. When you choose surrender, again, one more step of expansion. A new logic is gifted to you. When that logic is gifted, when you look at the life with that logic, that energy, again the choice is given. Two roads, surrender, ego. Again, you have to pick up the surrender. So every moment, again and again and again, you are given the choice. That is why I tell you, surrender is one thing you can never say you learned it or you did it. It has to be an happening, continuous happening. I tell you, the one lesson which even now, still now, I go on learning is surrender. So, I bless you all. Let all of us continue to learn this lesson. This is the one lesson no master can say, I learned, I am here to teach. No, I have learned the higher parts of it, so I can share whatever I learned with you. So it is a constant learning process. It is the ultimate happening, which nobody can say, I learned it. Please understand, whenever you learned some process, you have become master of that process. Surrender is the only process. Nobody can become master of it. Only the process can continue to be master of it. You will be continuously learning. Please understand, any process, if you have learned it, you have become better than, more than that process. But surrender is a process which you can't become master, or which you can't say you learned it. It is learning. Only in surrender, the process is the master. Nobody else can be the master. Even the cosmos is lower than surrender, because even cosmos continues to expand, because it surrendered to itself, its very core, life. Cosmos has surrendered to one of its greatest dimension, life. That is why constant expansion is happening even in the cosmos. The moment cosmos judges the happening of life, the surrender bridge is lifted and cosmos will start shrinking. The expansion will stop happening. That's what we call pralaya, demolition or destruction. Then again, even the cosmos learns the lesson. Oh, I missed it. Let's put the bridge back. When the bridge is put back with the life source, with the surrender, Hiranyagarbha, again life starts happening. Expansion happens. I tell you, nothing can say, I learned to surrender. Because it is an happening. It is a constant happening. So, let us all learn surrender, and radiate enlightenment. In the real surrender, you don't exclude anything, you include everything. You just experience the whole. Three levels of surrender exist. One is intellectual surrender, means trusting the master's intellect is much sharper, much more than your intellect, is intellectual surrender. Next, emotional surrender, surrendering the emotions, trusting that master's emotions or the way in which he guides is much more intelligent, that is best than my emotions. Third, surrendering the very senses, very cognition, the cognition which happens inside you, surrendering the root of the cognition itself. Here, surrendering the intellect is very easy because it continuously tortures you. After some years, you have suffered enough with the intellect. You somehow wanted to get rid of it. You just surrender. Surrendering intellect is very, very easy. Just if you see somebody who is more intelligent, clear than your thinking system, you just surrender. For example, if you go to a consultant, naturally you surrender intellectually. You surrender to his idea. If you go to a lawyer, you surrender legally. You know in that field he is more sharp than you. So you surrender to lawyer in that field. When you go to some accountant, you surrender to him intellectually as far as the accounts concerned, because he knows much more than you in that field. Intellectual surrender is easy. Same way, if you see somebody who has got more knowledge in the spiritual field, intellectually, immediately your intellect surrenders. That's not a big thing. Surrendering intellectually happens very easily. Moreover, you just wanted to get rid of it. You are finding somebody, you are finding some dustbin where you can dump your intellect. So when you find somebody, you just relax from it. Next is emotional surrender. That happens when you feel deeply connected with the master. When you feel deeply connected with the master. When you start experiencing one or two things, little meditation, little bit of understanding, naturally the emotional surrender starts happening. You start respecting his emotions much more than your emotions. Master's emotions means whatever he tries to guide you, whatever way he wants you to live, you start giving importance to that more than what you think as life. Slowly, slowly, he becomes the center of your life. Almost like you start respecting him more than all other emotional attachments. The priority is slowly changing. You start thinking in your emotion, in your emotional level, master comes as a number one priority. This is what I call emotional surrender. In the emotional level, you feel connected. Next, a deep level, of course, it's a spiritual technique. Because you all heard enough of these intellectual things, these 17 days, I think now you should understand the deeper levels of techniques. Surrender of senses means even your senses will listen to what he says. One disciple asked the Rishi, Vedic Rishi, why should I surrender? What is the need? Master asks, as far as you understand as you, how do you know you? He says, through my senses. According to your senses, who are you? I am this body and mind. Master says, according to your senses, you are body and mind. But according to me, you are God. Only when you surrender your senses, only when your senses starts listening to what I say, you will see the truth of what I am explaining. According to you, according to your senses, you are body and mind. But according to me, you are God. When you surrender your senses, when you believe me more than your senses, you will experience you are God. He says, the moment you believe me more than your senses, you will understand the meaning of Tattvamasi. Master again and again represents the ideal of you are God. Please understand, again I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God. Again and again, he stands for the ideal of you are infinite. There are so many dimensions in your being which you have not explored, which you have not experienced. Again and again, he is showing so many dimensions of your being to yourself. He is showing so many dimensions of your being to yourself. Master stands for your multidimensional being. He again and again shows it is possible for you. When it is possible for me, why not for you? But as long as you believe your senses, you will be sure that you are body or mind. Only when you trust Master more than your senses, you will understand Master's words are true than your senses. Then you will experience the truth of Master's words. Then when Master says you are God, suddenly you will realize, yes, that is truth. All these days, my body and mind, my senses are telling, I am body and mind. As long as you believe your senses, you will believe only their ideas. The moment you start believing the Master more than your senses, you will realize the truth which Master explains. Two persons are speaking from two stages. One side your senses, they are saying you are body, you are mind. The other side Master is sitting, he is saying you are God and you are divine. You have so many dimensions of your being. Enjoy everything, experience everything. If you are sitting there and listening, you cannot listen this. Only when you believe this, the words of the Masters, more than the words of the senses, you will be able to experience the truth that you are God. You are ultimate. You are material and spiritual both together and something more. Let me tell you a small incident in Krishna's life. After the Gita, Krishna and Arjuna, both of them are going somewhere. After the war, everything is over. Maybe for a picnic, outing. Suddenly Krishna says, Arjuna, see that white color crows. Arjuna says, yes, beautiful white crows. After 2 minutes, Krishna says, no, they are black crows only. Arjuna says, yes, Krishna, they are black crows only. Suddenly Krishna asks, fool, what happened to you? When I say white, you say white. When I say black, you say black. What happened to you? What happened to your senses? Arjuna says, Krishna, I do not know what happened to my senses. But one thing is sure, when you said it is white, I saw them as white. When you said they are black, I saw them as black. I do not know what happened to my senses. I do not know what happened to me. One thing is sure, the crow is not going to give me life. You are my life. I do not know logically whether the crow is white or black. But I saw as you directed. When you said it is white, I saw it as white. When you said it is black, I saw that as black.
In the inner world, the first and last tool which you need is complete surrender. Complete surrender. Only then you can wake up to the truth. You can wake up to the truth. Then Krishna says, you are right. Because you started trusting me more than your senses. If Arjuna is trusting his senses, at the most, he would have been a good warrior, good king. But because he trusted Krishna more than his senses, he has become enlightened. Here Krishna says, only when you understand all three levels of surrender, surrendering in the level of intellect, surrendering in the level of emotions, surrendering in the level of senses, only when you experience all three, the ultimate experience of surrender happens to you. I tell you, the very surrender itself is enlightenment. Don't think after surrender enlightenment will be issued to you. No. Don't think you will surrender, then you will get a paycheck through courier. Enlightened. You are enlightened. No. The very surrender, that very moment you experience the truth.
Surrender is not submission. Surrender means expressing your will 100% and dedicating your will to the higher will. Making your will in tune with the higher will. Submission means destroying your will, bending your will. That's a big difference. Let me enter into the sutras. 96th Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in 2nd chapter, 45th verse. Samadhi siddhir Ishvara pranidhanat. Let me translate this sutra. Samadhi siddhir Ishvara pranidhanat. All the words in the sutra are technical terms. Samadhi, Siddhi, Ishvara, Pranidhanat. All four words are technical terms. All four words needs a clear new definition. Samadhi means falling in tune with the origin, Adi, the original source. Sama means falling in tune or vibrating in the same frequency. Adi means the origin. Samadhi means vibrating in the same frequency of origin, from which you originated, vibrating in the same frequency. Please understand. When you start a spiritual practice, slowly you divert from the original mood. I've seen people diverting from the original mood. when they start, the inspiration they have, the energy they have, and how they divert. In any plane, if you get back to the origin state, fall in tune, vibrate in the frequency of the origin, you will achieve the success in any plane. Here, originally, you are the leader. It is you who decided to play the game of life by expanding yourself. Getting back to that original leadership quality, the original state of leader is what I call samadhi. Please understand. I am translating the samadhi word with the clarity and understanding of active spiritualism. I am not translating that word samadhi lying down in some cave somewhere. No. Now I am introducing a new spirituality to the world, active spiritualism. Spirituality which makes you alive. So that is the reason I am translating this samadhi word with a proper understanding, getting back to your original leadership quality. How to know whether you are progressing towards samadhi or achieved samadhi? You will become leader. If you have become leader of your breathing space, whatever is happening, means your life. You are growing towards samadhi. If you become leader of the whole happening in you and your life, you have become samadhi siddha. You achieved samadhi. Samadhi means not just having altered state of consciousness, achieving the original leadership quality with which you happened. Samadhi siddhi, ripening into samadhi. Siddhi means ripening. That's the way I want to translate that word siddhi. Ripening, imbibing, achieving. All these can be the different words. Ripening is the best word I'll choose. Ripening of samadhi in you or you in samadhi. Usually, ripening of you in samadhi only happens, not samadhi in you. Because samadhi is bigger than you. You are not bigger than samadhi. You cannot have samadhi. Samadhi only can have you. You cannot possess samadhi. Samadhi only can possess you. Forget about samadhi. An ordinary simple kundalini awakening you can't possess. That only possesses you. That only shakes your body. You can't shake kundalini as you want. So how can you possess samadhi? No. Samadhi only can possess you. Samadhi can only possess you. You can only ripen in samadhi. Samadhi cannot ripen in you. Siddhi means ripening. Samadhi siddhi Ishvara pranidhanat. The word Ishvara, please understand why Patanjali is using the word Samadhi and Ishvara together in same sutra. You could have just finished Samadhi Siddhi, Sharanagati or Pranidanat. He is using the word Ishvara Pranidanat. Ishvara means the ultimate experience expressing in the plane you can relate. Please understand. If you feel you are just body, the energized deity which responds to you in your plane is Ishvara. If you feel you are just a mind, the sacred scriptures which puts you in tune with Samadhi is Ishvara. If you feel you are little more than mind, incarnation who is in the body, who can just put you in Samadhi is Ishvara for you. Understand? Patanjali is using a very powerful word, Ishvara Pranidanat. By surrendering to Ishvara, Samadhi is achieved. If Ishvara and Samadhi is one and the same, then why is Patanjali using two words? And he is not fool. Very, very intelligent person. Man who knows when to use more words and when to use less words, when not to use any words. I have not seen more intelligent person than Patanjali, especially when using words concerned. And it is a question of using words, nothing like Patanjali. Buddha went on for 40 years, so he lost sensitivity for words. I can say for every master who goes on speaking, they lose sensitivity for words, including me. I go on and on and on and on. Soon I will cross number of hours speaking any master. I think as on now, only Osho is my competition. And maybe in few years, we will cross. Because I go on and on and on. And everything is recorded. By continuously speaking, sometimes we lose sensitivity for words. But Patanjali is a guy. After all, he is a grammarian who knows how to use or not to use words. He is using two words here, Samadhi and Ishvara. Why should you use the word Ishvara? Understand, surrendering to Ishvara, you will have Samadhi. Then the word Ishvara need to be completely understood. Only then the ripening of Samadhi will happen in you. Or you can ripen in Samadhi. Ishvara means which leads you to Samadhi. If you are in the very grass plane, most of the time you are in the idea or feeling connected only to your body. Then the energized deity is Ishvara for you. Spend all your time worshipping, taking care of the deity, so that The idea that I am the body slowly moves out very beautifully. Ramana Maharshi answers this doubt. Somebody asked him, what is this? How can worshipping a stone, statue, metal can lead to samadhi? He says, it is much better than constantly worshipping your body. See, if you apply the sandal paste on the stone, at least it will be there for 2 days without smelling. Apply it on your body, what happens? He says, as long as you have the illusion and delusion that you are the physical body, better to have the ultimate state of consciousness also identified to a physical statue, so that your identification starts reducing. The shift in the consciousness of the first step starts happening. That is the reason still in the modern era I go on insist, inspire and establish temples all over the world. Still I insist on deities. People don't understand. If you are feeling that you are physical body, more than 51% of your time, awareness time, see when I say awareness time, the time you spend in dream state and waking state. For example, in a day, you spend 20 hours in the dreaming state and waking state. In the 20 hours, more than 10 hours if you feel your body, please start with deity worship. Don't cheat yourself, thinking that straight away you can become enlightened. Start with deity worship. If you are feeling more time, 50% of the time, you as a mind, means all your planning, joy, suffering, past, future, everything is mental game. Your joy is also mental, your suffering also mental. It is more identity based life, not physical based. If your life is more identity based, you are running around more for identity protection than the basic need. If you are not running around for basic need like a food, clothes, shelter, that does not directly affect your suffering or joy. Just the food, clothes, shelter is not a major part of your life. You don't think too much about that. The physical suffering or physical joy is not a major thing in your life. It is more a mind. You are established more in mind. Your life is more identity based. Then understand the sacred truths. Either listening to the masters or reading the sacred texts, the sacred truths expressed by the master, that is God for you. That is Ishvara for you. Another one thing, I don't want to translate the word Ishvara to God. No. The God word has been spoiled too much. Too much of meaning has been loaded into it. I don't want to translate the word Ishvara as God. No. Let me retain the word Ishvara as pure as possible without translating it into God. If your whole identity is based on mind, if your joy, suffering, existence, everything was on mind, then sacred truths, listening from the master or reading of the master's words becomes God to you. That is, becomes Ishvara to you. That is why J. Krishnamurti says, listening is God. Because all his disciples are mind-based, the identity-based. They are not locked in the body. If you are locked in the body, you can't understand J. Krishnamurti, I tell you. If you are able to understand J. Krishnamurti, you are already in the plane of the mind. For them, listening is God. Listening is Ishvara. Shravana is Ishvara. Please understand. If you are established in the physical system, physical body, then Vigraha is Ishvara. Deity is God. Surrender to deity. Worship, decorate, play around, live. That is why all the people who are connected to the ISKCON, they created thousands of temples around the world. Because people of physical nature, I am revealing some of the important secrets of all religious and spiritual movements. And I am revealing some of the important secrets to find out which technique will work for you. People who are feeling connected to ISKCON movement, God is Krishna and he is in this deity and he stays in Goloka, comes here. Whenever we worship him as Archavatara to accept our worship. The person who feels connected to this idea can never be connected to the idea of listening is God. But I can tell you, how many people are liberated through the Krishna statue? By the Bhakti movements, same number of people, Krishnamurti is able to liberate just by the word. Different kind of people, that's it. J. Krishnamurti is also right. The Bhakti movements are also right. Each one of them cater to the different mental setup, different kind of persons. Third, very important thing, if you are feeling you are neither body nor mind, means you have reasonless suffering, reasonless joy. You are neither in the business of physical joy, nor bothered much about identity protection. You are searching for something more. Being level personalities means if you had even one glimpse of Kundalini awakening, levitation experience, or one glimpse of spiritual truth, you are a being level person. For you, incarnation, who is vibrating in the same space of samadhi, is God. Then forget about the statues and deities, forget about the scriptures and listening. Incarnation, master, is God. Please understand. Master is Ishvara. Surrendering to the Ishvara leads to Samadhi. Now find out which type you are.
if you are the type of more than 51% of your waking time, you are spending feeling your body, then deity is path for you. Till you evolve from that state. If more than 51% of your time you are spending on the identity struggle, the mental game, then listening, imbibing the great truths, or reading, internalizing is Ishvara for you. Spend all your time maximum in that. Those truths will again and again make you fall in tune with the Samadhi state. If you are the being level person, neither you are spending your time in feeling your body, nor you are spending your time feeling your identity or mind. You are just feeling something more than Master, who happened in the planet Earth in physical form, is God for you. Just drop everything, be at His feet, He will lead you to Samadhi. Now the fourth word, Pranidhanat, the word surrender, need to be translated. Again, the surrender word is much misunderstood in the West. Like a becoming slave. I say no. Pranidhanat is not becoming slave. Rising to that frequency is what I wanted to translate. The word Pranidhanat as falling in tune or feeling connection. Please understand, when you start feeling connection, falling in tune, you attract that vibration to your vibration. I have really seen in my own life, when some devotees bring something with lot of love, it will be very small thing. Somehow even I cannot resist myself. I will just pick it up and put it in my mouth. Small sweet or some piece of cloth. I will just take it and put it on my body. Devoted to anything other than you, the stem cell production happens. I tell you, devotion heals you. Second thing, how the early stem cell production happens. The stem cells which become part of your organs. I saw surrender. Surrender is nothing but the devotion which became part of your biomemory. The stabilized devotion is surrender. Surrender means, see, devotion is where you and the person or the object or the space to which you are devoted, both exist. But in surrender, you say, let you exist, that's enough. Nothing else is required. I am so happy to dissolve in you. Just be lost in the sweetness which happens in my mouth when I remember you. I am ready to lose myself in that sweetness, in that joy, in that taste. Surrender makes early stem cells which becomes part of your organs. I can tell you, it may take only few months, I feel, because the stem cell research, these kind of researches are too high. So they cannot be influenced by Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. Pure Brahmanas are needed
means the pure R&D people who can't compromise, who won't compromise. I tell you, this research will land within few months into the Vedic consciousness, and devotion and surrender, these two will be declared as one of the major pill for stem cell healing. And very soon, every medical shop will start promoting these two concepts. During my wandering, I was resting in the noon time under a tree, putting my head on a small stone, which had turmeric, all that little puja was done on that, but I did not expect it is worshipped by somebody as God. I thought maybe in village, every stone, every tree is worshipped. In India, that's why when British put the milestones, first it was all painted in yellow. Suddenly they saw in 1 week all milestones have a fully dressed, decked with flowers, and people have started worshipping and everything has become temple. So they have to change the color. Now British had really tough time stopping the villagers worshipping the milestones. And it is perfectly shaped like a Shivalinga.
Just bring your awareness to your breath.